Hello everybody, Andy here. It is time for a Zendikar Rising draft, and I have to say I've really enjoyed this set. I can't wait to jump in. We're playing best of one ranked, so we will be keeping that in consideration. We're not going to have any sideboarding, all that good stuff. Just waiting for this table to fill up. So I'm quite curious to know what have you all thought about the set. Let me know down in the comments. I would love to hear how you feel about it. This is a personal favorite set of mine. I've quite enjoyed it. I have been on a little bit of a cold streak lately, but that always happens. Let's see if we can break that here. Maybe inch our way beyond the Plat 4 rank. Plat 4 rank. The table is filled up. Everybody is getting ready. Come on, let us in. We want to see that first pick. As a little side note, if I ever seem to make some odd picks, that's primarily because I am rare drafting a bit to fill out my standard collection. So I might take a suboptimal card from time to time. Let's see. So, like, normally I would snap up this land, but I believe I have drafted the playset of Branch Loft and Boulder Loft, so I'm not going to be picking up the land here. What stands out in this pack? We've got Maria Captain. This is just a really good white 4-drop. Relic Axe is quite powerful. Bubble Snare is the best common in the pack. I think this pick is Bubble Snare versus Maria Captain. And I think I'm going to go with the Captain. I could see that being incorrect over the Bubble Snare, but I've just always drafted a lot of decks with Bubble Snare lately. I'd like to try and move in a slightly different direction here. If I had taken Bubble Snare, we could have followed that up with like a Risen Riptide, perhaps. What do we have here? So Skyclave Cleric is fine. The MDFCs are all just reasonable cards. Skyclave Plunder is some good card advantage. Taunting Arbor Mage can end the game. This is a very powerful effect. I don't think I want to follow up my Amaria Captain with that, though. But perhaps Arbor Mage is just the best card, and I should be taking it here because of that. What else am I taking? Grotech Bug Catcher is good, but it's not quite game-ending the way the Arbor Mage is. Yeah, I guess I'll take the Arbor Mage. There's just too big of a gulf in power level between these two. I'll take the Gomavada Oh, I did not see this Deadly Alliance. Okay, so this pick is Vanguard versus Deadly Alliance. I think I just gotta take the Deadly Alliance here. It's better than the Vanguard by a bit, even though the Vanguard is super good in the Warriors deck. And then we see a lot of blue cards, so they're not all amazing. This is filler. This is slightly above filler. The Skydiver is fine in the Rogues deck as just like a cheap evasive threat. Veil is good as an MDFC. None of these commons are really amazing. Like, there's the Expedition Champion, which is fine. Teeter Peak Ambusher, which is fine. I think Canopy Bailoff is probably the best of the commons that are here. It just hits really hard. Man, this is tricky. I think I'll take the Bailoff. I'm not 100% on that pick, though. That pack felt a little weak. I think here I can pretty happily just take a Tazim Royal Mage. Oh, there's Shepherd of Heroes. This is an interesting pick. Royal Mage versus Shepherd of Heroes. We are set up where we could move into blue-green kicker fairly easily. Shepherd of Heroes is a great white card, though. But based off of what we have, I think I value the Royal Mage more. And then, wow, that's a late Royal Eruption. We'll pick that up here. This could be like a huge signal that red is actually very open. And if we do end up in the kicker deck, it's just really easy to splash a Royal Eruption off of, like, Reclaim the Wastes. And you can get some insane value out of that. For this pick, I think I like the Core Celebrant. The Harry's Binding is not bad, but it is sort of medium. It leaves the creature around. The opponent can still get a lot of value off a body line around in this format. I like just taking the Celebrant here. This gives me outs to maybe end up in Clerics. Hasn't looked super open yet, but that could change. This is pretty cleanly Hellion versus Aesthetic, and I think the Hellion is the better card in general, but the way our deck's leaning, I'm going to take the Turn Timber Aesthetic. I think it's more likely to make our deck at this point. I'm not interested in the second Aesthetic. Survivor is just fine. I'll pick up this Relic Axe on the wheel. I might not play it, but I don't mind leaving myself that route. Out of these cards, I think I'll just take the Scythe Cat. It's a fine attacker. I don't really like any of these. Guess I'll just take the uncommon for Vault Progress. We did get Teeter Peak Ambusher back, with the wheeled Relic Axe. That might not be, it might not be insane for us to move towards a Warriors deck, perhaps. Well, let's see. We've got Ancient Green Warden, which is a mythic rare, but I don't think it's all that great. Like, yeah, you can get double triggers off of these, but I don't think it's amazing. There's a Zendu Stomper. There's a Fearless Fledgling, and white didn't seem super open, but we did get some late cards for the Warriors deck, which could also be a reason for us to take Roadhog Bugcatcher here. Let me see. So I think there's Fledgling, there's the Bugcatcher, there's the Fury as well. Those are sort of our considerations, and I think I like taking the Bugcatcher. Though if I'm red, I'm probably actually going to be playing these white cards, so maybe I want the Fearless Fledgling. Yeah, let's take the Fledgling. It's just such an amazing 2-drop. Ooh. We've got some interesting picks here. There's another Deadly Alliance, there's a Relic Vial, and there's an Oran Reef OOZE. The OOZE, it's just like a 3-mana 3/3 that attacks as a 4/4. It's a wonderful play just on its own. It also goes well with, plays well with my Scythe Cat, potentially plays well with the Fearless Fledgling. Yeah, I think that's the pick. That's just like a really solid card, and I could maybe even wield the second Scythe Cat to go along with it. Lots more green cards here. So I could like take Dauntless Survivor and see if I could pivot into the counters deck, but that deck's not super great, and black also doesn't seem super open. We've just got the one Deadly Alliance hanging out over here. So I think I'll just take Roiling Regrowth. I've got a couple of landfall creatures it's not bad with, like this being a combat trick that gives your Baloth +4/+4 is pretty insane. What are we looking at here? So I guess there is Prowling Felidar, which does look good with what we've got going on, even though I think red-white, or green-white is super mediocre. There's also a Feed the Swarm and a Rabid Bite. But I think I actually want to take the Felidar. Like, green-white's not something that I've drafted. I don't think it's super good, but it goes well with what I've got going on at the moment, which is definitely interesting. I am going to need to pick up some more 2-drops. That's a priority. That being said, I don't think the Core Blade Master is a very good 2-drop, so I'll just take up another Scythe Cat here. And, okay, I'm going to pick up this Feed the Swarm. Like, the Raptor's fine. I don't really have anything that I want to go with it at the moment. Geopede's also fine, but... Well, am I more likely to play red than white? I feel like I'm just picking between a series of bad decks here. But maybe I do want the Geopede. Like, it attacks hard. Yeah, this gives me outs to playing, like, my Royal Eruption and stuff, too. Whoa! Man! Relic File. This is the second Relic File, and Clerics of Life Bond. So, like, the Clerics deck is open, even though black and white have not been obviously open to me. Oh, man, that hurts. I guess I'm just going to take Fissure Wizard. Like, I can't... I cannot pivot into these, and the Wizard is a fine 2-drop. We've got another Core Celebrant. Man. Yeah, I think I'm just on Wizard number 2. Oh man, the Cleric's deck is so nice too. I don't really want to play any of these cards. I suppose I could play a Seagate Banneret, depending on which way I go. Wheeling the Relic Vial, I'm so sad right now. I'm not really partying. I don't think that's good. I guess I'll just take the Relic Vial. No, like, I really can't play it. Random white 2-drop. It's better than any of those. Man, was there a point where we were supposed to try to move into the Cleric's deck and I missed it? Like, I picked up the Core Celebrant specifically because I wanted to try to keep that path open. Oh, man. So right now, I think I'm feeling a little bit more green-red than green-white. I'm going to have to look over this VOD later. Yeah, definitely more red than green-white. Primarily just because I've actually got, like, red 2-drops, even if it's just, like, a bunch of Fissure Wizards. Ah, man, look at this rare. It's a shame we're not in blue. I don't think I'm going to be, like, trying to splash for the inscription. I could take up my second Roiling Regrowth. There's a Canopy Baloth. There's also a Synchronized Spellcraft. I think I'm doing enough landfall things that I don't mind a second Regrowth. Baloth and Spellcraft are also perfectly reasonable takes there. I'll take the Grotag Bug Runner. Oh, we got a Myriad Construct. This isn't bad. 4-mana 4/4 that becomes some number of 1/1s, and it can potentially be like a 7-mana 6/6, depending on how many MDFCs the opponent's running. Quite happy to pick that up here. Then another Bug Runner or another Scythe Cat. Let's see. I think I like picking up the Bug Runner here. Like, my 3-drop slot is pretty well fleshed out, and then I think we can move these white cards away. This is definitely not the most powerful deck I've put together in this format. There's Ardent Electromancer. Is this a bad Electromancer deck? I mean, I do have, like, a fairly reasonable number. Like, these red 2-drops are really what you want with the Electromancer. Like, the curve of Bug Catcher into Wizard, or into Electromancer and Fissure Wizard is really good. I think this is not the best Ardent Electromancer deck I've ever seen, but it's reasonable enough that I'm willing to pick it up here. This deck. I'll play a Kazandu Stomper. It's just nice. Well, actually, maybe I need to take the Molten Blast. My removal is currently a Lone Royal Eruption. No, I'll take the Stomper and just let my removal be killing them. Besides, I'm sure I can find a Molten Blast later. So I guess this is pack 3. Yeah, this deck, it's sort of split. Like, we've got this little bit of a party warriors thing going on down here. Our green cards aren't really helping facilitate that too much. Here, I think I'm just going to take Might of Marasa because I am just low on removal, but a combat trick can take the place of that some amount of the time. I'll take another Electromancer. And then I'll also play a Synchronized Spellcraft. Another Baloth would be nice, but I do want the removal spell, even if it is a bit medium. Am I playing both Spellcraft? Maybe like I I don't think I have a high enough warrior count. I've got 2 Grotog, a Teeter Peak, and that's it, so I can't really play the Royal Axe, and then maybe I just... I don't know about cutting the Might of Marasa. I do also have, like, a decent number of trampling creatures, so maybe it's a good way to end the game. Maybe I just cut, like, the Turn Timber aesthetic? Oh, no, the Sneaking Guide. Although Sneaking Guide helps facilitate my Ardent Electromancers and isn't bad with Bug Runner. Yeah, this is tricky. This deck is, sort of split. Everything does really want to beat down, which I do think is a benefit. Maybe I just cut one of these Fissure Wizards. Like, 3 is not insane. And then I can actually make some decent use of this Ardent Electromancer. Double Spellcraft's a little bit clunky, but, I mean, I need the removal. I wasn't offered much in the way of Royal Eruptions. I am glad that I picked up that Stray Royal Eruption. So, yeah, I think this is what I'm going to go for with my deck. I don't really have any good options to bring in. We spent a bunch of time split between playing red or white as our secondary color. So we're a little bit light on options, honestly. Yeah, not the most impressive Zendikar Rising deck I've put together by a long shot, but we will give this a try. Thank you guys for watching my draft, and I will see you in the games. Alright, we're here for game number 1. This hand is fine. We're on the play. We've got some top end. The GOP will make a nice attacker. I think the real question with this hand is, are we going to pitch anything with the Fissure Wizard when we cast it on turn 2? Because, like, you always want to loot, but you don't always want to rummage. I'm leaning towards no at the moment, because the only thing I'd really want to pitch out of this hand would be a land, but hitting my land drops is also really nice for both the GOP and the aesthetic, so I'm probably just going to play this out as a Goblin Piker. Opponent has taken a mulligan, is in the tank on their 6. Alright. They've put 1 card on the bottom, so they're on a 6-card hand. What are these sleeves? Ooh, Karn sleeves. Nice. Ooh, Scythe Cat is interesting. I think I want to deploy the Scythe Cat before the GOP. Because, like, Scythe Cat accrues value for being on the battlefield longer in a way significantly different than what the GOP does. Alright, so I'm going to start out this turn by attacking. I'd be happy to trade Fissure Wizard for the Bug Catcher. And I also don't hate trading 2 for 2 with the way my deck's set up. So the GOP hits harder, faster, but Scythe Cat, like, actually accrues value from being on the battlefield first because it gets counters. So I think I'm going to play the Scythe Cat first. I could see this being a mistake. So we'll probably take 2 damage from the Bug Catcher here. Okay, yeah. Oh, 3 damage. I forgot how that card works. Doi. I do that all the time. I just forget that it counts itself. Let me see. Am I willing to trade my Scythe Cat for their Pack Beast? I trade, I get in for another 2. Their Bug Catcher probably attacks me back for another 3. I don't think that's a trade I want to make. I will attack with the Fissure Wizard because I'm cool with that trading for the Pack Beast. And then let's just play out our GOP here, and the next turn we can play down our Turn Timber aesthetic and then get in a nice large attack. As well as putting down a pretty big threat. Electromancer is not doing too much at the moment. It's just going to come down and produce 1 mana, which could be later. Could be relevant, like, a little bit later. I mean, opponent is attacking me for 5. I'm going to take it. I think these creatures are not ones I just want to trade away for a pack beast. Oh no. Do they have Embercleave? Huh. Embercleave could really bite me here. The way they're pausing makes me think they do have something, but I'm a little bit rusty on this format, so I'm not sure what that something is. I haven't played in a bit. I've mostly been going with, like, Kaladesh Remastered, and there was Vintage Cube. Allied Assault. Okay, so that is actually a significantly larger hit than I was expecting. But the aesthetic is really good at, like, stabilizing me. I get to put down a large body, and I get to gain 4 life. 3 life, I'm sorry. So I can attack them for 9. I might as well make it 11. Like, the Fissure Wizard is a good blocker against these, actually, because, yeah. Yeah, I think I've talked myself into, no, let's just get in for as much damage as we can. Try to take them down. Looks like they've got the... Fuck. Practice Tactics. Man, that was a good turn for the opponent. They got to deal a ton of damage with the Allied Assault and kill my creature with Practice Tactics. I wonder if Allied Assault is better than I give it credit for. Like, it feels so medium. Like, it's just... Like, I generally don't care for 3-mana combat tricks. But I might be valuing it poorly. This is interesting. So if we can draw a land for our Arbor Mage, we would win the game on the spot. Obviously, we're not there. The Seagate Colossus is quite the threat. So right now, Synchronized Spellcraft, I can shoot a creature, put them down to 7. I could play out my Electromancer, but it doesn't change the board that much. I think I just want to pass and hold up my Synchronized Spellcraft. It's going to be a bit rough getting through this Seagate Colossus. Like, 5 damage is sort of the sweet spot to stopping the red deck. Or, yeah, 5 toughness is sort of the sweet spot, because, like, this deals the most damage outside of a kicked Royal Eruption, which is obviously very feasible. That's why the card is good, but, oh, do they have a removal spell for my Geopeed here? Damn, they do. Okay. So now Arbor Mage isn't just lethal. Sort of really needed them to not go, like, threat removals. Oh, crap. Do they have something for my aesthetic, too? No. Okay. The way they were highlighting my aesthetic, I thought they were going to kill it, and that would have just been so bad. Alright, so we can play out Ardent Electromancer and Teeter Peak Ambusher. Well, we can do that anyway. I really don't like the way they're highlighting my Turn Timber aesthetic. I think I do need to deploy some creatures here. I feel like they've got a removal spell for the aesthetic, and I'm going to end up needing to, like, double block to deal with this Seagate Colossus or something. This also, adding more bodies to the board, also gives me out to Arbor Mage again. Opponent is highlighting everything. Maybe I'm trying to read too deeply into what they're doing with their mouse. Scorch Rider for the opponent. And Sneaking Guide, we just cannot find that 6th land. We do have a full party now, which is actually mildly sad. Like, this is the first time I've ever gotten a full party. And this is such a bad deck to have a full party, because I can't really do anything with it. I mean, I guess now Now Electromancer actually generates a mana, which is pretty cool. Or at least it would. Well, actually, since it generates a mana, and I have 2 Electromancers, that means I can draw one of my land or an Electromancer and get off my Arbor Mage. That's interesting. Oh, our opponent's starting to get in. I think I kind of just want to trump the Colossus with my Sneaking Guide. Because I can't lose... If I trade Electromancer for Scorch Rider, then I can't have lethal with Arbor Mage. So I think I just want to do this to make sure I don't die. But I think my primary win condition is still just going to be Arbor Mage. Yep, there's the land. So we kick the Arbor Mage. All creatures will have to block my Fissure Wizard. And everything else gets in for lethal. And let's just make sure that we do kill the Bugcatcher. Opponent said good game, so good game. Opponent. We managed to squeeze it out over the red-white deck there, even though it's looking a little bit perilous for a moment there. Alright, and we have picked up our first victory with the red-green deck. I will see you in the next one. Alright, it's time for our second game. I am quite a big fan of our opponent's username over here, Star Platinum. This is a fine hand, 2-drop, 3-drop, a bit of removal and some tricksy nonsense. And Oran Reef Ooze is, of course, a very, very nice 3-drop. A way to give this trample would be nice, but we don't quite have anything like that. We've drawn a couple of lands, that's fine. We do have some expensive cards we don't mind casting. Looks like we're up against another red-white deck. Okay, 3 lands in a row is a little much. Alright, so we'll just make the Ooze a 3/3, and then we can attack with it as a 4/4 next turn with Might of Marasa up. Assuming the opponent doesn't just have like a Royal Eruption or something here, which would be fine. I didn't attack with the Ambusher there. I suppose I could have, like, traded Ambusher for Champion, but I wanted to get my Ooze down. It looks like the opponent might have some sort of removal spell here. Or I'm just reading way too far into all their highlighting. Ooh, Gomavada Vanguard for the opponent. That is definitely a good one. And a Relic Axe. Ooh, this is... Yeah, that's a very good turn for the opponent. So if I attack with my Ooze, it becomes a 4/4, a 7/7 with Might of Marasa. So I could trade Ooze for both of their creatures, Ooze and my trick for both of their creatures, and then play a Bug Catcher. If I attack and they don't make any blocks, then I'm going to take a nasty amount of damage on the Crackback. I'll be taking 8. But I don't think I'm going to... And I could leave my Ooze back on blocks, which would go very well with the Might of Marasa. This is tricky. Yeah, I think the fail case of them just not blocking at all is pretty bad for me. Like, this deck doesn't have great ways to, sort of catch up from behind. Though I guess if they play another warrior, then Ooze can't even attack, which is... Yeah, that was a bit sloppy. I didn't think about that. I forgot. I was even just talking about how good the Vanguard is. I guess I should have just attacked there. Alright, Ooze doesn't block. So I can still Might of Marasa something down. So let's put Teeter Peak on the Vanguard, and then Might of Marasa, my Teeter Peak Ambusher. This will eat the Vanguard. We'll take 4. And then this does give me now a good attack with the OOZE. I'll be able to hold up Spellcraft. When I want to fire off the Spellcraft, just I want to move the Relic Axe over. I could just Spellcraft down the Tactician, attack with all. That's a fairly hefty chunk of damage. I think I'm cool with that. Tactician's also not something I want to let hang around on the battlefield, given the way it just scales, because it can gain additional +1/+1 counters. Killing that there also makes their Expedition Champion kinda dorky if they don't have another warrior. Like, sure, they can equip Axe, but now they're pretty firmly behind. Prowling Felidar there is annoying, but... This also means they can't equip Axe, and it means that their Expedition Champion is also only a 2/3, so that's fine. Oh wow, we drew another Synchronized Spellcraft, actually. Is that better than playing out my Scythe Cat? Like, I kill their Felidar so that it can't grow. Attack for 5. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's fine. Like, this is sort of like the Tactician. It can spiral out of control if I just leave it lying around. I am not going to play this Forest here, because I do have the Scythe Cat in hand. Alright, sure. And that's why you main phase the combat trick. Or the removal spell, because, like, the opponent could have, blocked and then done some nasty stuff to us. Alright, Felidar's getting big. I guess they do now have, like, a 5/5 Vigilance, if they'd like. Yeah, them having the trick there to save the Felidar is actually quite annoying. Because, again, like I was saying before, 5 toughness is just really hard for this deck to get through, and especially when it's on a Vigilance creature. But they chose to put it on the Expedition Champion. That's interesting. No attacks for the opponent. Let's play our Scythe Cat. Play our land so that the Scythe Cat grows. We can also grow the Scythe Cat with the OOZE once we attack, which is very nice. Not making any attacks here, though. Farsight Adept. Sure, I'll take another card. Oh, the Geopede is interesting. Alright, no attacks for the opponent. Oh, I'm fine with the way things are going. Ooh, another Scythe Cat. This Geopede's interesting. It doesn't get, like, constant value the way the Scythe Cat does. So I think I do want to play both of these out and then play my land. I suppose there's an argument for waiting next turn, and then I'll have the ability to make a large attack. Because I'll have a 5/5 OOZE, a 5/4 cat, and a 4/3 cat, plus the Geopede. And I think I'll hold this land for 1 turn, because I feel like this puts my opponent under the most pressure. Because once everything on my board is such a big threat, they'll have to make some awkward blocks. Opponent's also not doing anything. They've got to be holding a handful of spells, because they would play out lands for this Prowling Felidar. They're not trying to bluff me. What are the odds that their hand is just a series of combat tricks to blow me out? Tazim Raptor, okay. Oh, that lets them pick up a land and make their Felidar better. That's definitely annoying. Alright, so now they've got 5/6 vigilance. That makes my attack worse. Drawing land there's alright. So I guess I'm not making any attacks, because now the 5/6 sort of just block stone walls all my creatures. Yeah, this Felidar is doing a lot of work against us. A Roiling Regrowth would be nice. We do have 2 of them. That could give me a pretty nice blowout. Opponent is attacking with the Felidar. So they've definitely got at least 1 combat trick in hand. So I don't think I can afford to double block this. Damn, this is going very poorly. I felt like we were ahead for a bit. But with this Felidar... Oh. Okay, that should just end the game. Arbor Mage for the win! I'm definitely going to go for it here. Worst case scenario is they have instant speed removal spell to kill my Arbor Mage target. Oh, they used the removal spell on my Scythe Cat. Okay, so I think that was actually, like, the... Okay, yeah, I feel much more comfortable doing this now. Alright, you can block my Teeter Peak Ambusher and attack with all. This Arbor Mage is just coming in clutch for us. Which is very good. Alright, we've picked up a second victory. I will see you in round 3. Alright, it is time for round 3, and this hand is a little bit suspect on 2 lands, but I'm going to keep it since we're on the draw. Our opponent has taken 1 mulligan. But, like, something that's really good about this hand is it just needs 1 land. Like, Roiling Regrowth will put me up to 4 mana for my construct and such. If this was another 5-drop, or like a 3-drop that didn't ramp me, I'd be a little bit more cautious, but I think this is quite fine. We'll play out our Bug Catcher. Looks like our opponent's on the old Selesnya. And I'm going to assume that they're holding a combat trick, given the fact that they had priority there. Paired Tactician for the opponent. And now that I found my 4th land, I sort of just like playing my Ardent Electromancer and jamming in for 3 with the Bug Catcher. This is also quite good because it gives me the ability to hold Roiling Regrowth. Because this is sort of a card with 2 modes. It is ramp / fixing normally, but in my deck with a bunch of Scythe Cats and the Canopy Bayloth, this is also like a surprise combat trick some amount of the time. So I definitely don't mind holding on to it for a little while here. We'll attack for 6. Like I said, we know the opponent's holding a combat trick, but so are we. So let's see what they've got. They've got Might of Marasa. And so do I want to Might of Marasa back? That won't actually save my Bug Catcher. But I think that's fine because this is basically just a 2 for 2, which is fine. And then now my opponent doesn't have a board, and I do. I also don't think I would have made that play there if I wasn't able to put down a follow-up. Like if I was just spending the 2 mana there for the Might of Marasa. Here he's binding on my Electromancer, that's fine. Ooh, Oran Reef Ooze here is quite interesting. But I think I just want to get down my Myriad Construct. I can also just play Ooze next turn and maybe make the Construct into a 5/5 if I think that's the best play. It's a little bit awkward, though. You really want to put the counter on the OOZE so that the OOZE can attack and get the triggered ability. Because, like, the 2/2 body next to a 5/5 doesn't attack super well. And then Roiling Regrowth. This puts those on the battlefield tap, right? Yes, it does. So we can't, like, get into any, like, real shenanigans like we could with Harrow, because Harrow puts the lands into play untapped. So, like, if this was Harrow, we'd be able to Harrow and then cast our OOZE, but Harrow, this is not. Opponents in the tank here. They've got some nice sleeves, too. Oh, these are the Mu Yangling sleeves. Arena does have some nice sleeves. I'm not really into that, like the sleeves and the pets and stuff. It's definitely cool. I'm just not the player for those things. I've just got, you know, classic Deckmaster sleeve backs. Though I have to admit, I have been quite tempted by some of the basic art lands that they've got. Like, they've got the Euro lands and stuff. Those are beautiful. Alright, we'll attack for 5 here. And then, if I play my Regrowth, I can play my Stomper next turn. But I think I just like getting down my OOZE. And then, back to our opponent. Let's see what they do here. Alright, they've got land. Removal spell from my Myriad Construct, maybe? Journey to Oblivion. That's actually quite annoying, because that's really good against the Myriad Construct, because it only becomes 1/1s if it becomes the target of a spell. So, oh, they hit my OOZE? Alright, opponent scooped. I guess hitting the OOZE makes sense there, because, like, the Construct is only ever going to hit them for 4, but, that was a pretty quick game. I'll see you in the next one. Alright, it is time for the next round, and this hand. So I kept a very similar hand in the last game on the logic that I'm on the draw, and I only need 1 land. Though the fact that I'm missing red mana makes this a little bit more suspicious, but on that same note, 1 land gets me to Roiling Regrowth, which gets me 2 red mana, so I think I'm going to keep this one as well. If I miss, I'm going to miss, like, really hard, because I'm not going to be able to get onto the board at all, which is a concern. But I think this hand's good enough, and this is... If I draw the 3rd land, I'll also probably play out the Scythe Cat first, and then we can... Oh, no, 5-drop. That wasn't supposed to be 5-drop. That was supposed to be a land. Oh, no. Oh, no. I'm going to get punished for my greed. Opponent's on blue-green over here. Maximum Magic X3X. Ooh, Coral Helm Chronicler. That is a fairly nice card for the opponent here. But it did whiff, so no draws. Oh, man. Drawing the Royal Eruption there is really not what we wanted to see. I guess I will discard... Based off the texture of my hand, the Bug Runner. Like, there's consideration for getting rid of the Aesthetic as, like, the card I'm the furthest away from casting, but I'm probably going to need that to help stabilize my board later. The opponent's not off to too aggressive of a start. Like, they've just played a 2/2 across the first couple of turns. Expedition Diviner does hit a little bit harder, but we're going to draw the land this turn. How greedy do I want to keep getting greedy? Because I could play down my Scythe Cat and then wait till next turn for the Roiling Regrowth. That would let my Regrowth function to make my Scythe Cat a 4/3, potentially a 5/4. That might just be like too greedy. I think I just want to pass. I can cast my Regrowth, and then I can get down my Turn Timber Aesthetic. Because I am quite a bit behind this game. This Expedition Diviner especially, and they've got an aesthetic of their own. We're probably not going to pick this one up. Like, we're really far behind. Oh, and we didn't even draw the land for the turn timber. I can play out my Baloth as like the most mana efficient play, and this also blocks well. Yeah, well, I guess Greedy Keep was greedy. And they've got a removal spell. Okay, sure. Alright, I'll see you in the next one. Alright, it's time for the next round, and this hand is fine. Definitely not amazing, but, like, we can't miss on the Roiling Regrowth this time. So we'll definitely get our red mana. Opponent's got a 1-drop, so they're definitely aggressive and off to the races. We even managed to find our red mana off the mountain there. So, no, I was going to say, I'm going to assume that if our opponent's playing the Banneret, they're going to be on, like, red-white warriors, but it looks like they're actually on, blue-white party, probably. Alright, we'll take our 1. And the opponent follows up with a Cunning Geyser Mage. Here, I think we're just going to play our Scythe Cat out. There's not really much point in playing the Electromancers at this moment. And the opponent's got Journey to Oblivion. So we're going to take a decent chunk of damage here. Sneaking Guide. So if I Sneaking Guide, play my Electromancer, I generate 2 mana. So I could, like, Royal Eruption the Geyser Mage, but the Ardent Electromancer just blocks the Geyser Mage. Still, I think I want to play out these creatures just to be as mana efficient as I can. So yeah, we're looking to just, like, put Electromancer on the Geyser Mage or the Banneret or something. Maria Captain. That is worth Royal Eruptioning for sure. Alright, I'm perfectly happy with this trade. Ooh, Canopy Baloth. That'll be good with this Roiling Regrowth, but we're just going to get down Ardent Electromancer. Though I could just play the Baloth. That allows me to make the best use of my mana, and I can afford to take 1 hit from the Captain, right? Yeah, 1 hit from the Captain is not going to be my undoing. This is the most mana-efficient play, and it makes the best use of my cards. So I'll take my 3. Opponent's got an Anointed Healer. Opponent's got an interesting deck over here, for sure. So let's kill the Emeria Captain. And then I'll get in with my Baloth. I can get in with my Electromancer, too. Like, I don't mind Electromancer trading for Healer. Opponent is checking out our cards. Oh, they're lining up the double block. That's not going to go the way they plan. And this is the power of Roiling Regrowth. Like, now it's a ramp spell and a combat trick. So the opponent takes 3. We've eaten their board. They do still have a pretty full hand. Got Prowling Felidar here. We drew the land, so we can still get in with our Canopy Baloth. That was actually a mistake. So what I should have done is played my Oran Reef Ooze first and put the counter on the Baloth, which I am still going to do. Because, like, I was talking about how the Ooze attacks poorly on the 2/2 body, but with Sneaking Guide, we can make it unblockable, so the opponent can't interact in combat. So I did miss a point of damage there, and that is also, like, a wonderful interaction that I had not noticed before. the opponent is definitely getting, like, some aggression on us. We almost wanted to see a land there, to be honest. Yeah, I think, especially since the Falconer is a flyer, I just need to get aggressive here. So we've got a 6/5 Baloth. Opponent chumps with their Felidar. And we'll get down our GOP'd. They do have, like, a really good clock on us here. So we really need to draw something. Like, they can sort of just chump my Baloth for days. I just draw the Arbor Mage again. Synchronized Spellcraft. So I shoot down the Angel Heart Protector. My opponent... How much mana do I have? Not enough to make my Ooze unblockable. Right, I've got... Oh, no, I have 7, okay. So I shoot down the Angel Heart. They go to 7. They go down to 5. I think I've just got lethal. Oof. Because I've got to put it on top of the Baloth or they die, and then, yeah, okay. Man, I almost miscounted my mana there. I thought I had 6, not 7. But we did manage to squeeze it through. So the Sneaking Guide Oran Reef Ooze combo is... Well, combo. I use the term very lightly, but that is worth noting. Because that's a pretty powerful interaction. Alright, time for the next round. We've got a pretty nice curve here. I'll happily keep this hand. It would be better if we were on the play, of course. But Sneaking Guide means Bugcatcher can attack as a 3/2 on turn 3, which is not bad at all. Opponent leads on a Zoth Bloodbog. So let's play our Sneaking Guide. I guess our best draw here is probably just like the Oran Reef Ooze, and then we can get our Sneaking Guide Ooze combo going, and we can put the counter on the Bugcatcher since it's got Trample, and that's a really good card to grow. Opponent's got the turn 2 Ghastly Gloom Hunter here. Let's play our Bugcatcher, and then I'm not going to attack with the Guide. Like, Gloom Hunter is not a terrible thing to trade for, but, you know, Guide plus Bugcatcher is a pretty potent combination. So I think it's worth keeping my Guide around. Opponents on blue-black. So they may be the Rogues deck? Quite interesting. The Rogues deck is interesting. Oh no, they've got Feed the Swarm from a Bugcatcher. The Rogues deck is quite interesting in terms of... I think when you get there, it's very strong, but if you don't, it's only okay. Like there's the all-in blue-black rogues. We're milling our opponent. We're getting value for them having cards in their graveyard deck. And then there's sort of like good blue-black cards. And I don't think the latter deck is all that spectacular. But you can definitely end up in sort of like a blue-black kicker kind of deck that is interesting for sure. Opponent's got an Expedition Diviner, so we're going to cast our Roiling Regrowth. We'll sack a forest. Guess just get a forest and a mountain. Our deck's not very color intensive, so what we grab there doesn't matter too much. Didn't want to see another land there. But we will Slam Return Timber Aesthetic. The fact that all of our opponent's cards have flying at the moment is a bit scary for us. Also, the converted mana cost of our deck is fairly low. Like, our most expensive cards is 6-drop, so we're going to hold on to this second Roiling Regrowth until we can get some good landfall value off of it. Just something to note. Opponent's got a Field Research. Looks like they might be digging for a 5th land drop. And they attack with both. Alright, looks like we're racing. Let's see what Fissure Wizard does if I discard this mountain. I think that's okay. Like, most of my deck, it costs... it's cheap. Okay, let's just get on with our creatures. I feel fairly confident in our ability to win a race between just having such large creatures. The Spellcraft will shoot the opponent. Okay, they've got bubbles now, sure. Alright, Bubble Snare on the aesthetics. Bit mopey. And a follow-up play. Okay, maybe we can't win the race. Still want to hold on to this Roiling Regrowth. And there's the 6-drop to punish us for both looting away our land and not casting Regrowth end of turn there. So what are we doing this turn? I could synchronize Spellcraft the Expedition Diviner. Feels pretty bad, but that card will kill us sooner rather than later. I can also just, like, pass the turn Regrowth on if they don't play anything scarier and get down the Stomper, but then the Expedition Diviner is hitting me for 6 damage. Yeah, I think I just need to kill the Diviner. At least they don't have a Wizard, so they don't get any value off of it dying. Because it could hit me for 3 this turn while I Regrowth, and then 3 next turn while I Kazandu Stomper. So I might as well just save myself the life. Alright, no blocks. We'll take 3. No plays from the opponent. Oh, we did draw a Canopy Baloth. I don't hate that, because I can happily play this as a good blocker, and it will give me the value I desire off of my Regrowth, and it's also just a little bit more mana efficient. Oh, unless the opponent's got... Okay, they've just got Vanquish the Weak on my Fissure Wizard. Vanquish the Weak on my Fissure Wizard, Well, I guess that makes sense. Like, I'm basically just playing big green things. Like, my next play is probably going to be a Kazandu Stomper in terms of creatures, at least. So, yeah, I see using the Vanquish the Weak to get value there while they can. Cascade Seer for the opponent. Got a good card on top. This Gloom Hunter is being incredibly annoying here. Like, it's gained them... It's probably dealt us, like, what, 5 damage? Gained them 5 life? Royal Eruption is quite intriguing here. I think... So what happens if I just attack with my Baloth? They put Cascade Seer on it. So I attack with Baloth. I can use Roiling Regrowth to make sure the Baloth sticks around, and then Royal Eruption the Gloom Hunter. Yeah, and then next turn I can play my Kazandu Stomper, buy back some land so that the Baloth continues to have good attacks. Oh, is the opponent going to chump? Oh, the opponent's going to double block. I like this. Oh, no, they're not. They're just going to chump. They don't have Subtle Strike mana, so I'm just going to let this happen. And then they put the counter on the Gloom Hunter, which is... Like, the best case scenario there was them double blocking and putting the counter on the Gloom Hunter, but the fact that the counter still went on the Gloom Hunter regardless, I think I'm quite happy with. Ooh, Crawling Barrens. That can do some work for the opponent here. Though it might be a little bit slow. Ah, and they're kicking their Royal Mage. What do they have to get back? Feed the Swarm, probably. Damn. That was a very good turn with Crawling Barrens and Royal Mage. So I guess my threat quality might... Okay, them getting attacking with Cascade Seer here is good. Because that means I'll definitely get in a hit with this Baloth. I could greed out this Roiling Regrowth, but try to do it next turn to hit them for a bunch of damage, but I don't think that's worth. I just want to play my Stomper Scythe Cat, because in this scenario, basically I'm just trying to put a bunch of pressure on them, and hoping that if I pressure them hard enough, the feed the swarm's no good. I'm going to attack with my Sneaking Guide here. If it trades for the Royal Mage, sure. Yeah, that Royal Mage was just such a stupid draw for him. So now they probably just shoot my Stomper. I mean, the fact that I do have 2 large threats is useful. That did deal them 6 damage. Ugh. I don't know. We're not dead. We're not in a great spot, though. It would be nice if they don't have another creature here. If unlikely. I mean, I guess it's not inconceivable. Oh, god damn, the Mind Drain. I think... Oh, wait. Actually, no, I just win there, because now they're tapped out of mana, and I can just, Might of Marasa... Oh, no, they gain life off the Mind Drain. Alright, so Might of Marasa is probably going to end this game here. The land draw there also, like, helps significantly. Alright, and we smashed them. That was a very close game. Definitely almost lost that one. Glad I held on to that Might of Marasa. I wonder, maybe I was a little bit conservative with that Roiling Regrowth. I feel like I probably could have deployed it a little bit sooner, and maybe gotten down my Stomper quicker. Things worked out there, but that doesn't mean we couldn't have played it a little bit better. Alright, it's time to jump into the next game, and I like this hand. Fissure Wizard, Ardent Electromancer. The Electromancer is only going to be producing 1 mana here, because they're both wizards. That's fine. We're probably going to play the Scythe Cat on 3 anyway, so that we can start accruing landfall value. Oh, Grotog Bugcatcher could change that, because this now does give me the ability to go Bugcatcher, then Electromancer, and Wizard. It's definitely the better turn 2 play, just because I don't want to pitch anything to this Fissure Wizard, so if I can hold on to it a little bit later in the game when I do want to pitch something, then that's just better. It really depends on what the opponent wants to do here. Nothing. So yeah, I think I do sort of like deploying my Scythe Cat and getting more value, so let's attack for 2 with our Bugcatcher. Like, this just appreciates in value the earlier I get it down, and then, on a similar note, the Fissure Wizard appreciates in value the later I get it down. So I do like this play here. If they've got a Spikefield Hazard, that would kind of stink, but... Ooh, Sky Dancer for the opponent. So it looks like the opponent is on the Black-Red Party deck, which is one of my favorite decks in the format. I think it's both very good and very fun. Oh, it looks like the opponent gets to go off with their Ardent Electromancer here. Man, they're really going off. Oh no, my Roiling Eruption. That would have been wonderful to play in this scenario. Might of Marasa is interesting. So Might of Marasa, it would not save my Scythe Cat if I attacked and they double blocked. It would if they just blocked with 1. But then I'm not really doing anything with this turn. I think I'll just make my Electromancer Wizard play. I still don't think that I want to pitch anything to my Wizard. Like, I want all of these cards. And then I could attack with my Bug Catcher. Then it just trades with, like, a Sky Dancer or an Electromancer. Probably a Sky Dancer, because that's a redundant party member. But I think that's alright. Or they'll just take the 3. That's also a fine scenario for me. Fissure Wizard for the opponent. I think one of the cool things about the red-black party deck is there's a lot of variety in it. Like, I've had some that leans towards being more of a Wizard's value deck, some that leans towards being more of a Rogue's value deck, some that lean towards being more of a Warrior's value deck. It feels like you can just play so many different archetypes within the, one, if that makes sense. So, I think I like attacking with my 2 trample creatures here. I can use the trick if I think that's relevant. I can also just employ my aesthetic if I feel that that would go better. The opponent doesn't seem inclined to block too much. I feel like they want to trade more. Alright, and then, like, so how do I feel about these blocks? Like, a Might of Marasa, the Scythe Cat, save it, deal a bunch of damage, and then I play OOZE. Yeah, I like that. So let's protect our Scythe Cat here. Opponent takes 7 damage. And we get to play our OOZE. And then we've got Fissure Wizard around for a good block on the Bug Catcher. These Sky Dancers are annoying in the air, but we've got pressure to match. Plus we've got the aesthetic for a little bit of life gain. And the opponent scoops it up. Alright, victory and ascension to Plat 3. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next game. Alright, this is a very nice hand. It's missing like a little bit of fat. But like Bug Catcher is a great 2-drop. We've got a removal spell, and then the Arbor Mage. Well, we've seen it just end games several times over. So let's play out our Bug Catcher on 2. We're definitely going to be holding this Arbor Mage. We're not playing this out on turn 3, not while we've got other plays. Acquisitions Expert. I guess I let the opponent take my Fissure Wizard. I'd prefer not to, but don't really have much choice there. Trying to land there is not bad. It'll let me get down my Myriad Construct next turn. Looks like the opponent might be the all-in on the blue-black rogue deck like I was talking about previously. A Skyclave Sentinel for the opponent. Sure, that's a good blocker. So we don't have any top end, but we're drawing lands like we do. Let's just play our construct. Colorless 4-mana 4/4 is just always good. Opponent deploying the Sentinel down as a 2/3 defender is a bit rough. Does stall our aggression a decent amount. Oh, and it looks like they might have a removal spell for the construct. If they can remove the construct here, we'll be in a bit of trouble, because, like, the 1/1s can't really attack. Oh, looks like the opponent doesn't have anything. Drawing another land there's not where we wanted to be. How worried am I about Subtle Strike? Because that would determine whether or not I should shoot this Sentinel. Kind of like just going for Royal Eruption on Sentinel, because the opponent doesn't really have good blocks. That also opens me up to getting in with my Bug Catcher. But that might be spewing my removal spell. And then if they have Subtle Strike, I just get so blown out. But I'd rather figure that out now, as opposed to getting blown out with my creatures in combat. So I'm going to go for the Royal Eruption on the Sentinel. See if we can maybe open up a pathway for a nice attack. They've got Into the Royal on their Skyclave Sentinel. Well, okay. That's not as bad of a blowout as it could have been. Like, my Royal Eruption still didn't do anything. But, like, at least they don't have a 3-4, I guess. And I was able to get in my attack. Opponent's not playing anything, and we're not drawing spells, which is unfortunate. Well, one of those is unfortunate. I'm going to attack with both. I suppose they might have Living Tempest here. That's the only reason I can see them not playing their Skyclave Sentinel, but I think Living Tempest is okay. Yeah. So they eat my Bug Catcher, take 4. I don't think I'm going to play out the Arbor Mage just yet. It definitely does way less when I don't actually have a board. Like, I do need to draw some cards, but I also don't think that deploying 2/3 is doing anything for me, and that's, like, very technically not more land. I am going to hold this Wizard. Hello, Mina Kitten. There, I am going to hold this Mountain. I've got Fissure Wizard plus a couple of landfall creatures. So holding on to the excess land here is not bad. Opponent now gets to cast their kicked Skyclave Sentinel. So we're probably just going to die in the air this game, unless we draw some real gas here. Just fetch up Forest Mountain. We don't really need to think about it in this deck, which is nice. GOP. I mean, that can deal some damage. Not quite enough, though. So we'll take 7, and we're also dead on board next turn in the air. Oh, and they've got a removal spell, so we're just never winning. Alright, that was unfortunate. I feel like we drew a lot of land that game. We were sort of just chaining them together in the middle, but that happens sometimes. Alright, this is it. The last game. We get 3 losses or 7 wins. This is unfortunately unkeepable. This is much nicer. So let's just put back the Ambusher. I feel like we've already played against Blue Orion. Like, this might have... Was this the opponent we just played against? I don't know. The name feels very familiar. I'll have to check the VOD again to see if I actually did. Hey, Mina Kitten. Cliffhaven Sellsword for the opponent. Do I want to trade? I don't really want to trade Bug Catcher for the Sellsword. I also don't really want to play the Might of Marasa. This turn, I think I just want to place the Geopeed, and then I'm going to hold back. I can attack next turn. I just want to get down the Geopeed as quickly as I can to start getting in for some big damage. Opponent is deploying a Tazim Royal Mage. Alright. Another land. We've sort of just chained together lands. It's not what we wanted to see off of a mulligan. I do like attacking here. I can use Might of... Okay, yeah, this is very good block for me. So now Might of Marasa saves my Geopeed. They take 9 damage. Expedition Diviner for the opponent. And we draw Royal Eruption. Yeah, I'm just going to shoot down the Diviner. I don't have many resources. I can't afford to let this game get drawn out. So I'll, they do draw a card here, but this stops them from having a good block on my Geopeed. So let's jam in with both, and then they'll take 6, and now... Geopeed's lethal on its own, but that would require them to not have a creature, which is unlikely in blue-white. Ah, that was Shepherd of Heroes is a very bad creature for us to see here. Let's get down our Scythe Cath, and then I am just going to smash. Like, the opponent trades here, but that's fine. That gets that out of the way, and now I do have the Scythe Cat to attack. The opponent's at a fairly low life total. Though it looks like they're secretly, blue-white life gain. Oh, man, this is rough. Roiling Regrowth. Depending on how they block the Scythe Cat, that will be a nice blowout. I think I'm still sort of just all in on the attack. I was really hoping they wouldn't double block, but oh well. This also thins our deck a little bit of lands, which is useful. Alright, opponent's at 7. We're out of cards. Maybe I've been a little bit too loose this game. Merfolk Falconer will probably just kill me over the course the next... Yeah. I mean, maybe I've just been too fast and loose with my resources this game, but I've also drawn, like... what feels like a very high amount of lands. Like, I'm on 6... Yeah, I'm on, like, 6 lands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... I guess 6 lands, 6 spells. But now the opponent's just got, like, infinite flyers that I can't attack past. So it looks like we're probably just going to lose this one. Which is a shame. This felt very winnable a few turns ago. So I guess I can attack with Bugcatcher and try to trade for the Emeria Captain. I mean, kitten. Or just get in for a bunch of damage. Alright. Problem is this Falconer is enough to end the game on its own. Oh no, they have a trick. Fuck. Okay, yeah. Okay, get down. Yeah, we just lose. I don't know. We mulliganed and then drew like 3 lands to start the game. I don't really think there was much we could have done there. Alright, well. Alright, so we went 6-3 with the deck, which is far better than I was expecting.